Good morning. This is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Briefing for Wednesday, January 7th, 2025. Prescribed fire continues to be planned or ongoing across the Great Basin with these pink dots here. Precipitation for the past 7 and 14 days is shown here with the last 7 days on the left. We can see we have seen some rain and high elevation snow recently. If we look at the past 14 days, some of those trends continue with much above normal precipitation over southern Nevada, across parts of northern Utah, and even eastern Idaho. But definitely some dry pockets out there over the last couple of weeks, especially over parts of Utah. Let's talk about snow. First, the recent snow, the past 72 hours here, we have seen some high elevation snow with the valley rain over the weekend. Snow depth or into the first of the week. Snow depth showing here on the right does show some fair snow depth over the central Idaho mountains, western Wyoming, and a few pockets of some higher totals along the northern Wasatch Front. Nevada is looking pretty sparse, as well as southern Utah. Looking at the current snowpack here, it's not a great story, but it could be worse, I suppose. We do have some near normal snowpack over parts of central and eastern Idaho and into western Wyoming. Northern Utah is generally below average, but a few pockets right on the Idaho border a little bit closer to normal. Along the Sierra Front, we do see some values right around or slightly above normal there. But for the most part, western Idaho, northern Nevada, and much of central and southern Utah are below normal for snowpack for the time of year. Okay, but let's talk about the forecast because we finally have some colder air and some valley snow coming to the Great Basin. So for today, we can see a low pressure system moving into the Pacific Northwest here, bringing a cold front into the northern parts of the Great Basin today that will continue to move throughout the evening, overnight, into tomorrow. Ventilation rates aren't super great today, especially across the southern parts of the area, but will be improving for tomorrow. Winds for today are going to be stronger across the north, leading to the better ventilation rates further north there ahead of this next storm. Mixing heights are on the lower end across much of the Great Basin today. Precipitation for today is shown here, so filling in across the north to Idaho, Wyoming, northern Nevada, northern Utah throughout the day and into the evening hours and overnight. Maximum temperatures are still on the warm side. We are coming down a bit, but the big drop in temperatures will be coming over the next few days. So still highs mostly in the 40s today. On Thursday, that trough really drops down into the Great Basin, bringing that northerly flow into the area for much cooler temperatures tomorrow, and ventilation rates really improving tomorrow as well. These northerly winds are going to be on the strong side with some pretty high gusts out there, especially over Idaho into Utah and southern Nevada. We could see some really strong gusts up to maybe 50 miles an hour or so across southern Nevada and southern Utah. So very windy day tomorrow behind that front with the winds out of the north, mixing heights increasing under that northerly flow as well. On Thursday, precipitation will continue over Utah, filling into central and southern portions of the state, and we'll still see some showers lingering over the central Idaho mountains and western Wyoming as well. Our temperatures really come down on Thursday with maximums mostly in the 30s across the area. Friday will be another cool day as we remain under northerly flow, but precipitation will be decreasing across the area, and ventilation rates still somewhat favorable over Utah, but decreasing over Nevada and into Idaho, as we'll start to see a little bit of a ridge building in along the west coast. On Friday, winds will still be quite breezy out of the north and west, mainly on the lee side of the Wasatch Front here in southern and eastern Utah and western Wyoming, with lighter winds further west. Mixing heights really decreasing to the west. And precipitation drops off quite a bit by Friday, and we go into a dry period. Maximum temperatures are still going to be quite cool on Friday, especially on the eastern half of the Great Basin. We'll start to see some gradual warming on the western half. The 3-day precip totals are shown here. Again, a good chance of precipitation coming to many areas across the Great Basin. Very light valley snow totals. Maybe around an inch or less than an inch, with some higher totals across the higher elevations. The clearing index for the next couple of days is shown here for Utah. Some poor values out there today, increasing quite a bit tomorrow with increasing winds, decreasing again on Friday, especially across the north, with continued higher values over southern and eastern Utah on Friday. On Saturday, we'll see the ridge continuing to work its way a little bit further east over the Great Basin for clearing or continued generally sunny skies, ventilation rates decreasing for the weekend. That ridge sort of sticks around into Sunday for gradual warming. Still on the cooler side, however, ventilation rates remaining low. And that dry pattern continues into the first part of next week with poor ventilation and generally sunny skies, dry conditions. And that holds into Tuesday as well. Precipitation for days 6 and 7 really not showing much. So short-term precipitation before we go into a little bit of a longer, drier period. So again, 7-day totals here showing really what we're expecting today into tomorrow. And then the forecasted snow totals are shown here again. Most of the high elevations are going to see some snow, anywhere from 2 to 5 inches, and locally higher amounts possible, of course, especially across the north. The extended outlook for January 14th through the 20th keeps temperatures on the warmer side across the southwest portion of the United States, including southern Nevada and southern Utah, and we are expected to remain kind of in that drier period as well, with below normal precipitation expected. And that concludes today's briefing. Please check back on Friday for the latest.